No, no, no. Kai Havertz looks like he's going to go to Arsenal, and Chelsea cannot let this happen. Rumours have broken out over the last 12 hours that Kai Havertz wants to leave to Arsenal and that Arsenal are offering some pretty good money both to Havertz and the club, which is why this deal looks like it is serious and actually in contention of happening. Now this is where I wanted to talk about, because I don't think selling Havertz to Arsenal is a good idea. I mean, you've heard me over the channel for a long time. I've said selling Havertz overall isn't a good idea, but selling him to a rival like Arsenal, we're talking about not strengthening our rivals this whole window with the likes of Kovacic, Mount, and here's another one where just letting go and giving to our rival just because he didn't do good at our club doesn't mean Kai Havertz isn't a good player. Oh my gosh, guys, this club has gone to the dogs. It's a mess. We've got a lot to talk about today. So if you're new around here, do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We've got lots of transfer news this summer, and this is one of the major stories in terms of selling, which is what we're trying to do mostly this year. Kai Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz, I would say he hasn't been a complete flop. He hasn't, of course, risen to the grand expectations for him when we bought him for 70-80 million, which almost, I think it broke our transfer record at that time. He has not lived up to those grand expectations, but I still don't think he's a flop. Last season under Tuchel, the only full season under Tuchel, he scored 14 goals, which I think from a cam isn't bad. I'm going to be honest. He's not a striker, he's a cam. Which people have to accept. They have to understand he's not a striker. He's being played in the wrong position, and I genuinely believe that Poch could save that. Poch could revive the career of Kai Havertz at Chelsea. But the board are not going to let that happen because they might sell Kai Havertz before Poch ever sees him in training. Now, the Real Madrid interest, which was looming around for a long time, has stopped. First off, because Real Madrid don't want to pay 50-60 million, which doesn't sound like Real Madrid at all, but it is what it is. And because now with the Mbappe news breaking out and stuff, their attention is fully focused on Kylian Mbappe. They do not want to sign Havertz or Kane for that matter. Their full attention is on that matter, so I think Havertz to Real Madrid can be called a closed chapter. Now moving on, there's a new bidder in the auction, which is Arsenal. And they are willing to pay £60 million for Kai Havertz, which I would say is a fair deal. If you're talking about the price tag, that is good enough for me. And they're offering Kai Havertz more than 200K a week, which doesn't sound like Arsenal. What has happened to this club? I genuinely think the reason for their success last season and the season before is because they've actually started spending. Because you've never heard of Arsenal giving out players 200k a week. Saka just signed a 300k a week contract. So yeah, I think Arsenal are changing for the better. And here we are, Chelsea, who are changing for the worse. Which is why we're in such a mess nowadays. I mean, at this point, every single player is going to a rival. All of them, literally all of them. You've got Kovacic, you've got Mason Mount going to United. Now, Man United have put in a bid for Mason Mount of about 40 million. But that, of course, has been rejected. It's an insult, to be honest, 40 million. I think 50 million is still fine, but 40 million is too less. Personally, I think 50-55 million is good enough a price. Mason Mount, of course, no one at Chelsea would want us to sell him. But we've been forced into selling him because his contract runs down. He doesn't want a new contract, so we'll have to sell him. And then there's Kovacic, who's looking to leave to City for about 35 million. He's agreed terms with Pep Guardiola. And I can't disagree. Kovacic under Pep and Mount under Ten Hag are going to light up the Premier League. I'm not so sure how Havertz fits in Arsenal's system, but the other two are going to light it up. They're gonna come to Stamford Bridge and destroy us. Genuinely, they're gonna come to Stamford Bridge and destroy us. I'm not even joking. We were talking about selling, massive sellings this year. But I mean, we let Kante go to Saudi, that's alright. But we can't sell our players for cheap prices, not even making profits on them except for Mason Mount and people like Gallagher, academy graduates, and strengthen our rivals at the same time. This is I wouldn't be shocked if we are out of Europe for the next season, 24-25 as well. Generally, I won't be shocked. This is the business we're doing. And speaking of the business we're doing, the 60 million we're going to get from Kai Havertz, we're looking to spend 55 million of it on Amadou Onana. Not Andre Onana, not the keeper from Inter, but Amadou Onana, the CDM from Everton, who almost just went down. When we missed out on Ugarte, we're not looking to go for Casado for some reason. We're spending 55 million on Amadou Onana. The club's a mess. It's a full mess. Genuinely. It's so sad to see the business we're doing. Just give us back Roman, give us back Marina Granovskaya, give us Peter Cech back. What have we got stuck in? Todd Bowley and his team have come on over to London. London is generally maroon now. It was blue until last year, now it's maroon. Because West Ham are the ones with the European trophy this season, not Chelsea. It is what it is, guys. Speaking of Kai Havertz, he is interested for a move away from the club. Which is, in my opinion, not good news, but it is what it is. I genuinely think it's going to be a full revamp. Not a single starting lineup player under Tuchel is going to be in our starting lineup this coming season. I'm 100% sure of it, except for maybe Kepa and Mendy. I'm 100% sure of this. And the fullbacks, Reece James. That's it. Moving on, we've got Andre Onana. Speaking of Onanas, Chelsea had a meeting with Inter about Onana and Lukaku and Koulibaly. The Inter won Koulibaly, so they were talking about giving Koulibaly and Lukaku out on loan to Inter for Onana, and Chelsea flat out refused. I think that's a good decision. We can't waste our players by sending them out on loan. Either buy them or we keep them and we use them. Giving them out on loan, unless they're like a young player, is an absolute waste. It's generally an absolute waste. Especially because the loan is being discussed for no fee. So that is a just pathetic deal. I'm glad Chelsea have decided not to do that. I think it's just going to be a straight swap. Lukaku for Onana. That's what I think it's going to come down to. Speaking of Lukaku, you're not going to believe this sentence. Saudi, of course, were interested in Romelu Lukaku. But they have pulled out of the Lukaku race because of his salary demands. Have you ever heard a Saudi club say that this guy's asking for too much money? That is Romelu Lukaku for you, ladies and gentlemen. He was offered £20 million a year, which no other club is going to offer him in Europe, which I think is a brilliant deal for him. And he's like, no, I want 90. Who do you think you are asking for the same money as N'Golo Kante? Who do you think you are, Lukaku? You just made a meme of yourself on the world's greatest stage, which your parent club won 2 years ago. And that's what we signed you for, to win us again. And then you had a fight with the club or something, and went out on loan, helped the other club reach the final, and then helped them lose it. Honestly, man, someone take him off our books. If we get 50-60 million, I'll be delighted. I'm sure Chelsea are going to raise a lot of money this summer, which is good for FFP and stuff, but I generally don't think we should be selling in such high numbers. So as that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the Kai Havertz deal. If you enjoyed, do leave a like and subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers by this month. And I'm going to see you for the next video, guys. Goodbye.